Hello, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, in this episode, I'm just this is for the preamble or the opening. I'm gonna use English as the main language of this episode because I want to test my ability in English, in speaking especially. So, I want to test how am I speaking in front of a camera. So that's it. This episode will be in English. So, without any further ado, let's get to the point. All right. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about a podcast that I watched a few days ago. It's on YouTube. Wait, let me show you. It's on YouTube in Magna Talk channels. Yeah, it's. Wait. So, I watch this podcast. Yeah, this one. Can you see? Yeah, the first one. And the guest is Anis Baswedan. And I found something interesting right there. I found a red thread between this Anis and Socrates. All right, so I just want to tell you in this episode, I just want to tell you, I just want to tell you about the red thread between Anis Boswell and Socrates. So before we get to the red thread, I'm going to tell you a little story about this Socrates. And you guys probably know him. He's a philosopher, and is pretty popular. And I think a lot of people know him. So in the Greek era, there is a philosopher called Socrates, and there is a community or a group called the Sophists. So basically, the Sophists is like a group that it's like a teachers group. So it's like a lot of people that teach the others. Like you know what I'm saying? That's the teacher basically. So the Sophists teach the people about rhetoric and then how to think, etc. Um, the Sophists and Socrates have a lot of different view in life, and I'm going to give you two examples of it. But because I'm not an expert, so I only can give you these two examples. So the example is number one. So Socrates believed that the real truth can be reached by the dialogue and by the critical thinking. That's what Socrates believed. But in other way, mm, the sophists believe that the real truth can be reached by the perspective. So it's based on the individual needs. You know what I'm saying? It's not based on the dialogue or critical thinking, but it's based on the individual needs. So there is a big view between these two. So that's number one. So number two, this is the red thread between the Socrates and Anis. So I think it's kind of relatable with today, with these days, because you know, in these days, education has been commercialized, and it happened before, so it's not a new thing, but it happened before in the Greek era. So the Sophists only teach the people who can pay them. So there is a transaction in there, and it means that education has been commercialized in that era. And Socrates, of course, disagree with that attitude by the Sophists. So here's the red thread. So I watched the podcast, and he said that education is not for preparation for the industry. Not for preparation for the industry, not for preparation for work. Education itself is the way how to increase the people quality, like the mind quality, like how to think, the quality of thinking. So it's not just like the human research, like we called it sumber daya manusia, and he never mentioned that education is for sumber daya manusia. Because if you mention sumber daya manusia, it means that education is for supply and market. Like you know what I'm saying? The it's not to increase the quality of human itself, but it's for the supply of the market. Like it's just for job, not for the quality of myself. That's it. That if education is preparation for the industry. So, and after that, he said that if an education is commercialized, the scholars will sell their knowledge for those people who can pay them. So um it and sometimes it forget the piece or the mean of the education itself. So like if the education is commercialized, the scholars will sell their knowledge for those people who can pay them. So it forget the mean of the education itself. So basically, the education is for the increasing the quality of human itself, but because it's been commercialized, the education is change the rule. The education is for the business, like you know what I'm saying. So it's like a bad thing for the education itself. The first reason education is for the increasing of quality for human itself, and then now it becomes a business for the increasing the human research. So that's it. Of course, Socrates criticized those attitude by the sophists, and of course, disagree with the commercialization of education. So I think that's it. The story of this episode. I think it's like 7 minutes something, and I think that's it for this episode. Um, if you guys, if you guys wanna criticize me, go ahead. I'm really find it, but I think wait, wait, wait. If it's positive, if it oh I don't know what I'm saying, bro. It's just you know what I'm saying. If you want to criticize or start a discussion, go ahead in the comment section. But I don't think so. Somebody will because nobody's watching this episode, this podcast, man. Are you? Because for what? I'm just doing it for me to learn how to speak English in front of camera, how to speak English fluently. That's why this episode is in English. So thank you for watching until this time. It's been a minute 30, 40 seconds. Um, see you in another episode. Goodbye.